take time to remind the candidates of the debate format, starting off with your opening statements. You will each be given 1 minute to deliver your opening remarks. We will then move to the prepared questions segment where you will be given 90 seconds to answer each question with a 30-second rebuttal period. Next is the question segment. Each candidate will have 60 seconds to answer with a 30-second rebuttal period. The topics of each question will begin with the following categories: ethics and leadership, foreign relations, politics, and their agendas. At the very end, the candidates will be given 1 minute to do a free-for-all, breaking all of the debate rules. However, Discord TOS and Ridgeway rules do still apply. And finally, at the end, each candidate will be given 90 seconds to deliver their final plea for your vote. The Ridgeway Election Debate Commission is a nonpartisan subsidiary of the State Board of Elections, dedicated to ensuring transparency and informed decision-making in the electoral process of Ridgeway. Composed of respected news organizations, the Commission is entrusted with the vital task of organizing and overseeing state debates. With a commitment to upholding democratic values and facilitating meaningful discourse, the Commission strives to provide a fair and impartial platform for candidates to articulate their visions, policies, and plans for the future of Ridgeway. With that being said, we'll go ahead and kick off the debate. So on stage, we have the two governor candidates, Refresh Mango and Frank X. Reagan. We'll start off by giving you guys some time to deliver your opening statements. We'll start with you, Refresh Mango.
Hello, how is everybody tonight? I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I'm Refreshed Mango. I'm sure we all know who I am. I'm running for governor, and I'm running for governor to make it a better Ridgeway and just bring more happiness to this community and more welcomeness to this community.
Frank, over to you.
Oh man, I wasn't done.
You weren't done? You can keep going. You have time.
I was just gonna say, God bless everybody. Let's have a good debate. Let's have fun, and let's make some memories.
Do you yield your time?
Yes, sir.
Frank, over to you.
Good evening. I'm Frank. I just wanted to say thanks everyone for showing out tonight, joining this debate, and being involved in the election cycle. I'd like to thank Mango and all the SBE people for coming in and, kind of having a good time and setting us up for a great night that's about to take place. Throughout this debate, you're going to hear some of my policies and my plans for Ridgeway in the hopes that we can return Ridgeway government back to what it used to be a long time ago, but we've kind of strayed away from. And through my campaign, we're hoping to get back to that. And I'm sure you'll agree with me at the end of this debate. So let's get it started.
All right, so we'll kick off with our prepared question. For the audience's information, this question was given to the candidates ahead of time. They've had roughly 10 or 15 minutes to prepare for this question. The rest of the questions that will be given during the debate are unprepared, and they have not received those questions. So to the two candidates, starting off with Frank, we'll say, how do you plan on ensuring that your government is effective?
Sure. So there are critical steps that our government needs to take in order to make sure that Ridgeway and our government is effective. That stems from an active Senate, an active justice system, that the justice system entails the Department of Justice as well as the court system. We need to be proactive in the government and kind of stay involved with events that are going on throughout our community and making sure that we stay engaged the entire time. And in part with that, we also need to be proactive with our policing. We need to make sure that, although crime is essential to the community functioning because of the way it is set up right now, we are trying to also stray away from that and get into a more economic and civilian-based economy, as well as other parts where more people can get involved if they don't want to be a criminal or a law enforcement officer. But we can't stray away from the fact that law enforcement needs to stay strong, and we need to have, stability in our law enforcement as well as in our government. And I think the best way to be effective in our government is to remain stable throughout the entire term. And, not get on the basis of corruption and hiring friends into roles and all the things that Ridgeway government is used to recently. We need to get away from that, and we need to make sure our government is doing what they're supposed to do and actually working for the people. I'm going to yield my time over to Mango.
All right, Mango, you have a 30-second rebuttal period.
Okay.
Would you like to use that?
Nah, man. I'm good.
Okay. You have 90 seconds for your response.
Well, simple, guys. We're going to follow my 3-step equation listed in my manifesto, which includes sustenance, which keeps Ridgeway running and strong. Second, community engagement, being boots on the ground. And third, promoting innovation. People get caught up in overcomplicating things, but effectiveness is found in simplicity. I plan on listening to the public and delivering on my promises. I will coordinate with my cabinet as well to make sure we are all on the same page. My cabinet is a direct reflection of me, and I'll ensure they are keeping up with their tasks. And just so you guys know, Ridgeway will always run better when it listens to the people. And that's what I want to do, is listen to the people. I yield.
Okay. So with that, we'll kick off into the questions that you were not given the opportunity to prepare for. Starting off, we'll be talking
Wait, excuse me, Mr. Moderator. Do I get a rebuttal there?
You do, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I would like to take the chance to rebuttal, Mr. Mango. So you speak about your cabinet and how you're going to be communicative with them. Does that include Rain Download, who in a recent document, your Lieutenant Governor candidate, Rick Vicario, tried to sway the vote in the Senate to fail his nomination? Is that the cabinet that you're speaking of, or is that just like you're planning on, reshaping the cabinet? I think the citizens would really want to know what your plans are with
Cabinet
their
will likely
with your
be
cabinet.
reshaped, but given the campaign rules, I can't say
No, yeah.
exactly, but it'll be reshaped.
Okay, thank you. I was just curious, as well as the citizens. Thank you. You can move on to the next question, Mr. Moderator.
Okay, so we'll kick off on the topic of public safety and criminal justice. So the first question that I have will be directed to Refresh Mango, and that will be, how will you ensure that everyone in the government is held accountable for their actions? You have 90 seconds for your response starting now.
That's a loaded question, shadow culture. Well, firstly, government transparency. People need to know what's going on. So I'm going to start with creating a public affairs team and doing weekly reports to give progress as to what's going on. And now with that, we're going to have a tip line for audits, all of that kind of stuff. Now, audits are a pretty touchy thing, nobody's a fan of them. I know no one's a fan of them because Ridgeway was known for having them all the time, but they're helpful. It helps weeds out corruption and nepotism. And those are just two key things that we always see in Ridgeway. So far, we haven't seen it other than in a recent thing that came out in the news last night, but I'm not going to comment on that. But to add on, I want to do press conferences and questions, like Q&A sessions with the public so they can inquire about anything. I want to be as transparent as possible. And one key thing I want to offer.
Your time has expired.
Any citizen can request an audit.
Okay, Daniel. Frank, it is your turn to answer the question. You have 60 seconds. I misspoke earlier. It is 60 seconds per response for these questions. Mango, you were timed for 60 seconds.
Oh, I thought it was 90. All right. Now I
misspoke.
Mr. Moderator, can you repeat the question?
So the question I asked Mango, and I'm asking you now, is how will you ensure that everyone in the government is held accountable for their actions?
Sure. So obviously the governor's office has a state auditor that they use at their discretion and at their discretion to found out through request of citizens. I think it's very important that the public has a right to know everything that's going on in their government. And that's where I think Mango and I agree. We can kind of go out and say, you know what, we want to host press conferences. We want to talk to the public, and we both want to see that the government is interacting with the public. I think that there are some backdoor dealings in our community and especially our government that have been going on, and I think those need to be addressed. And I think those need to make sure that we're not allowing that community to keep coming at us in our government. Our government needs to return back to stability and strength instead of backdoor dealings and corruption, where we're repeating the same past events. Obviously, if you're looking at history, we keep repeating ourselves, and we need to step away from that. I yield my time.
Mango, do you have a rebuttal?
Yes, sir, I do.
30 seconds.
What about the alleged backdoor deals of you, threatening a senator?
Oh, I would actually love to comment on that. Thank you. So I'm gonna be bringing up. Actually, does the SBE mind if I use a visual aid tonight, Mr. Shadow Culture?
I haven't vetted that, so I would prefer not.
Oh, okay. Well, then I mean I could just post it in like Ridgeway general chat later.
If
But
you'll send it to
anyway,
me, we'll go ahead and we can take a pause and
you
I'll
take a
vet it if
pause.
need be.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Timbo says he's cool with it, so.
Okay, give me 1 second, please.
Can I continue with my rebuttal while you go on with that stuff?
Robin, that's up to you.
Yes, you can continue.
Well, that threat towards that senator actually made that senator want to leave the community. Did you know that? That senator wants nothing to do with this community because, well, you made that guy feel like a useless piece of trash, which he's not. He just wanted to have fun in the community, and you ruined that fun because you used him. Oh my god, I got flung. Oh my god, I got banned.
Who's that?
Speedrun ban.
Oh, holy shit.
Alright, now we can definitely
What's
pause.
that guy's name?
I banned him. He's gone. He's gone.
Thanks, Robin. Biggest play of the night I've seen so far.
Do I send a screenshot to you?
I'm fairly sure that half the server got automatically banned by the bad anti-cheat in this game.
Let me see. I guess we should continue on the stage.
That works for me. That works for me.
I have attempted to unban Refresh Mango. Can he rejoin or not?
Oh, let me take a look, fella. Yeah, I'm in.
Beautiful.
I'm back.
Oh.
Just so you know,
Shadow,
Reagan, you're...
go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
Say what you were going to say.
No, please. I was talking to Mr. Moderator, Shadow Culture.
Yeah, but that's more important. Like, that is more important. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that instead of sending a screenshot or pulling up a visual aid, I could just read the screenshot out loud and send it into general chat room to ensure that this... Okay, I'll do that.
I think that's a wonderful idea. Anyway, you do realize your attempt of taking justice into your hands personally caused emotional distress into Nyx? And your actions and self-righteousness caused direct harm to the community he so desires to protect?
So,
and you hold on, I'm not done. I didn't know you you claim you run an anti-corruption campaign, but like, what corruption has been going on? The game hasn't even been out for 30 days. But it's funny, the one thing close to corruption, which is corruption, that just happened is surrounded by you. And you're running an anti-corruption campaign? Like, that's absurd. Like, you're running off of nothing.
Okay. Are you finished, Mr. Mango?
Shoot. Go ahead.
Okay. So, Mango, it's honestly funny that you accuse me of corruption when, you faked evidence to get a job in Old Ridgeway and got banned for said actions. So I don't know how you come out here and call me corrupt and accuse me of stuff when obviously I did not partake in it. Now, I'm not the type of guy who wants to bring a certain individual who you're mentioning into our debate because I don't want to involve him any further. But unfortunately, he tried to snake me because he came to my help against you, your running mate Rick Vicario, and Ryan J. Syndicate. And I will read you the quote really quick. Honestly,
Yeah.
the thought about this is scary. There's a lot I'm risking here, and I honestly don't want to lose my only two favorite jobs. I'm going to paraphrase about to the end of the quote. I will endorse your campaign, but I don't think I'm ready to release these screenshots or go public. Let me work out a way to resign from RNG and break off all ties with Ryan, in quotations, J Syndicate, so that it can't affect me in RSP or any of my other jobs. So if I had to guess, I would assume that he's talking about you and your campaign influencing him, by the way, which is how he got elected to the Senate in the
Right.
first place.
So that's funny.
I
So
wasn't
we have
finished, Mr.
proof of
Mango.
all of our
Can you please
DMs, and
stop? I
we can
wasn't
send
finished.
all of
Be
our
Mr.
DMs
Mango,
to
I was not
moderation that
finished.
proves we did not harass him or coerce him
both
or
both
anything.
of you be quiet. Both of you be quiet. We're gonna continue with the debate format now. We need decorum. So Mr. Shadow Culture is going to move on to the next planned question.
So for our next planned question, I'll ask Frank. That'll be, how will you ensure that people's rights are being upheld?
Great question. We definitely have to, like I said earlier, be proactive in our Department of Justice system and our court system. That includes appointing experienced and well-off individuals to the court system. And when we're working with the Department of Justice, obviously the Attorney General does not report to the governor, but there is nothing stopping us from working together. And that's what is important in Ridgeway. We cannot be having targeted prosecutions, targeted, you know, every case going against someone being targeted. That's not how this community is supposed to be. To ensure that people's rights are being upheld and that they have a right stance in our community, again, we need to work with the state auditor, we need to work with the Department of Justice and our court system to ensure that every citizen's rights is being respected and they're allowed to do what they want to in this community, because that's what this is all about. This is a community where people can get away from their real life and kind of enjoy what they want to do. And if their rights are being violated, they can't do that. I think it's very important that
Your time has expired, Frank.
Mango, do you have a rebuttal?
This guy violated a senator's rights, so let's leave it at that, I guess, because he doesn't want to admit it, which is fine. We're gonna have a guy running for governor that doesn't want to admit to his mistakes. I get it, but you know,
Mr. Mango, did you
it's not gonna put us in the right place. He keeps playing victim all the time, and we don't
so
want this guy to
did you
play
or did
victim.
you not fake evidence back in Old Ridgeway? Will you admit to that
You know,
or
it's
no?
funny you bring that up.
Will you admit to it or
play-
no?
Decorum,
Will you admit to
please.
it or no, sir?
Decorum, please. Decorum. We will
So moving on
proceed
to
with
the
the
I've
question
moved
for
on.
Refresh Mango. How will you ensure that people's rights are being upheld? You have 60 seconds for your response.
That's a good question, Shadow. Well, the way I'll ensure rights are being upheld is by holding our justice system accountable, making sure we are coordinating with other branches of the government to make sure their checks and balances check out. It all starts with that. Our judicial system needs to be ran the way it's intended to be run, and that it's fair. We also need to make sure our public defender system is strong and secure, so people are fairly represented. I yield.
Frank, do you have a rebuttal?
No, I think we can move on to the next question.
Okay, so switching topics, we'll be going over ethics and governance now, and we have two questions in this section as well. We'll start off with Frank, and that will be, what will you do to maintain transparency in your government? You have 60 seconds for your response.
Yeah, so when we look at our past governments, we automatically think of governments that obviously were recent. That includes the governor Vince Fant, that includes Governor Matrix OC, and all of the previous governors that have worked, before us. I think it's important to, I believe it was Vince Fant who had a pretty good idea in the way that he was transparent about some things. Now, I'm not saying Vince Fant was a perfect governor, but the way that he would host press conferences every week, I think that was very impactful. I think that was something that I would want to carry on in my governorship. I think it's important that the public knows what's going on behind the scenes in their government when not everything is public, but they're still being informed on the decisions that are made day to day. And with that, I want to work with my office to release a public press release every week, as well as hosting a press conference and town halls to make sure that citizens can come to me and ask me for questions, advice, even whatever they so need. I will be able to respond to them. And my door has always been open.
Your
My
time has
DMs. Oh,
expired.
okay. Won't finish my
Mango, do you have
sentence.
a rebuttal for that?
Negative.
All right, we'll move on to your question, and that is the same. How will you ensure that everyone in the government is being held accountable for their actions? You have 60
Well,
seconds for your response.
it's simple, like I stated earlier. Hosting a press conferences weekly, as soon as possible. You know, we all have a life, and sometimes that won't always happen, but that's my goal. I've laid out a blueprint in my manifesto for transparency, and we're not. I just want to like add on to that as well because I just realized I should have said this at the start. We're not in a game of hiding secrets, okay? And that's what the press conferences are going to be for. I want people to know what's going on. And to add on to my manifesto, my public affairs team is going to actively reach out to people on the weekly to hear from them and help us become a better community. And with that information, hold on, guys. I actually do have to go AFK.
Oh, hope all is well.
I yield. Just check out my manifesto for that. It's simple. I said it at the start. My weekly press conference is the main thing, and I just want to reiterate the weekly press conference thing started from the second governor, Medina Love. So let's thank him for that.
Frank, do you have a rebuttal?
I mean, that was just that was like a word salad. So I'm just gonna let like that go. I hope whatever he's doing is worth it because he's obviously talking about transparency. However, he's going away from his keyboard during one of the most important times of our democracy. I hope that everything is well with him, obviously. I hope nothing important happened where he needed to step away. But, this is a time where he should be able to speak to the public and, not step away when times matter most. I think that's very, very wild. But I mean, I'm not going to rebuttal any further than that. I think I think that about covers it.
Okay, so on to the next question under public safety and criminal justice. Or I'm sorry.
Are you gonna ask it with one of the candidates asleep?
Is Mango
You
back
can-
yet or no?
You're good.
He's good.
Okay. Are you concerned about everyone's views? And if so, what will you do to make sure everyone's views are heard? We'll start off with Frank on that one.
Make sure everyone's views are heard. It's a collaborative effort. That's what it comes down to. Like I said earlier, you need to be proactive with your citizens, your policing, your judiciary, your justice system, everybody. And I think that's kind of how I ran my entire career throughout Ridgeway, and all the other row states I've been a part of. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a very open guy. I keep my DMs on. I respond pretty quickly, and I don't hide what I really want to say to you. If you are asking me for advice or ask me a question, I'm gonna find the answer for you, or I'm going to find someone who knows that answer. I think people who raise concerns should have the ability to do it, whether anonymously, as if it's like a tip line, or whether they need to come to me and ask for help with a certain situation they're dealing with or whatnot. If they have a concern, it needs to be answered and it needs to be public, in my opinion. I think a lot of people have questions, but they're afraid to go to government or afraid to go to higher ups.
Your time
And
has expired.
oh, okay. I can't finish my sentence.
Mango, do you have a rebuttal for that response?
Out of respect for my candidate, I will let him finish his sentence.
Okay, you
Thank
have
you.
an additional 30 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Mango. That's very respectable. But as I was saying, I just think it's important that when people don't want to reach out to people that are higher than them and I get a question, let's say, asked to me, the answer to that question should be public because those who might not want to step up and ask that question are still getting the response, even though they aren't the ones who had the question, but they might have been thinking about it deep down and were just too afraid to ask. I think it's very important that everyone gets to hear the answers and the hard questions asked. I'm going to yield my time, and whatever's remaining or the extra 30 seconds can go to Mango for a rebuttal if he so chooses.
Mango, we will allow you the opportunity to have a 30-second rebuttal period if you'd like.
Thanks, man. Can you just repeat the question real quick?
So this is just a rebuttal period to rebuttal against what Frank
Nah,
said.
I don't need the
but,
rebuttal, but just the question,
Okay.
please.
All right, so moving on to your question, you'll have 60 seconds to respond. The question that was asked was, are you concerned about everyone's views? And if so, what will you do to make sure everyone's views are heard?
Of course, I'm concerned about everybody's views, and I want to hear everybody's views. But unfortunately, if I try and do that, I'll probably go insane. But that is my goal. I don't want to go insane, but I'm gonna try and hear everybody's views. But the main plan for me to try and make sure all views are heard is doing it through my advisory board by employing people from the regular community, being citizens, law-abiding citizens. Now, the law-abiding citizens are the ones that are gonna see everything. Like that could be an RCU person, an SPS person. Heck, it can be RCTA, MCPD, whatever it might be. But I want to also welcome the criminals to be on the advisory board because it's not going to be something that'll give you power. You'll be advising. But I want to include business or owners. I want to include cops as well, which I just said. And the diverse opinions, there's going to be tons of them. It's going to be hundreds, I bet. And unfortunately, no governor, and I'm sure Frank can
10
agree on
seconds.
this, will be able to handle all of them. But in general, my advisory board will be established on day one to help everybody.
Frank, do you have a rebuttal to that?
No, I agree with that last part where, we want
30
to be able to hear everybody's issues or their concerns, or even if they're asking for advice. I think Mango and I both understand that being the governor comes with a lot of responsibility and a lot of, I want to say, attention. And I think with that attention, you need to be able to use it well and guide the community in the right direction. So I think Mango in that last part made a good point. And I'm not going to rebuttal any further than that. So we're good.
Okay, moving on to our next question. It's going to be talking about politics, and that will be what makes you different from your opponent. We'll start off with Refresh Mango for this one.
Well, firstly, I've been on both sides of the game. I've been on the criminal part of it. I've been on the law-abiding part of it. I've seen it all. I've been in the courtrooms. I've been accused of everything, you name it, but I've made it past it. I've been resilient. And that's one thing I can offer to you guys. No matter what happens in Ridgeway, what we might face, I'm going to make it through it, and we're going to make it through it together. And we're going to make it through it as a team. And that's something I've never heard a governor say, is we're going to work as a team. And that's what I want to do. I'm not too sure what my opponent thinks about that, but we are a team. And I surround myself with people of all backgrounds, ranging from criminals, cops, judges, you name it. Everybody is around me, and they're there to help and advise. And I just want to reiterate again, we're going to do this as a team. All
10
right.
seconds.
And that's what I'm going to offer to Ridgeway. And that's what makes me different as opposed to my opponent. I'm going to work together as a team with all of you guys. I don't care if you don't like me, we're going to work together as a team. I yield.
Daniel, do you have Frank, do you have a response, a rebuttal?
Yeah, actually. So, Mango, I just want to
30
clarify
seconds.
one thing. Did you say that you were accused of everything?
Yeah, bro, this is Roblox. I've been accused of everything.
Okay. Have any of those accusations come out and been true?
Yeah, there's one. You like to bring it up. You can go ahead and share that if you want, and I'll let you know what I think about it if you want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the public knows pretty damn well about it, but I won't even continue with that. I
I gotta
just
step
wanted to know
away and
where
get
you
some
stand.
water. If y'all want to just take some time and hash it out real quick until I get back,
Yeah, grab
Robin,
grab
just
me
you
some
can
water as well,
let the
please.
clock
Yeah,
stop and y'all just have a little discussion. I'll be right back.
Well, Frank, I just want to talk to you about you bringing up my past.
sure.
I've owned it. I've moved on from it. You know this darn well. Like I've owned it
Okay, wait.
publicly as
Could you
well.
address could you address the public on what you did?
Sure. Essentially, I framed a guy to a personal vendetta, and I served my consequences, and that's really about it. And people like to think it was because I tried to take something from him, but in reality, it was a vendetta from another community. And I know there's people in this audience that actually know about that vendetta, but I don't plan on doing that here. That was something that me and him hashed out. He did something similar to me in another community. I did something similar in this community in Old Ridgeway, which was about I think a year ago, roughly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I appreciate you being forthcoming with that. So you said that it was a vendetta against him. How do the Ridgeway citizens know that what happens if you have a vendetta against someone currently in your cabinet or currently a
literally don't
citizen?
care. If they're doing
Oh,
their job, that's what matters. That's the only thing I care about. If they're doing their job properly
well,
and they're
you made
serving
it
the
clear.
citizens
You
of
made it
Ridgeway,
clear that
that's what matters.
you made it clear that you do hold vendettas against people and do things to retaliate against them.
That's a year ago, buddy.
Okay, I'm
So
back. 30 seconds left of
maybe
this.
maybe you should leave it in the past. But Frank, I want to remind you, you personally hired me into your own department after that incident, and you
I
gave me a
did.
position of trust under your leadership. And if you truly believed I was a problem, why trust me at all? Like seriously, you can't label
Be-
someone unfit and then put them on your team. You either believe in my ability or you're playing politics. Either way, it reflects more on your judgment than mine.
Okay, so I would just like to speak on that a little bit. So I'm not going to make this a 30-second rebuttal. I'm just going to point out the facts here. So the reason you were accepted into the department, first of all, is because people had to advocate that old Ridgeway stuff does not transfer over here. Correct. And I didn't hold that against you when employing you. Um, I think you've helped out in Milton City Police Department internal affairs. I think that's very fair to say. But I think it's important to recognize that you still did it and you
10
still held a
seconds.
vendetta, and you never know when that vendetta is going to pop up again against someone else in the community, and you're going to abuse that vendetta against them.
Kind of like you did to that senator.
And I'm still waiting for the full screenshot to be released
Mm.
because it
Well,
seems that I'm
I
the
would
only one with
love
the
The
full
time has
screenshot.
I would
expired.
love
We
to
will
release
Yeah.
the
continue with the
DMs,
debate
but
format.
unfortunately I
Yes.
can't because
Oh, because he deleted them. That's right. Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure he deleted them.
I have video of his screenshots. Thank you.
Yep, I'm sure you do, buddy.
Oh, you should check general chat room. The
Please,
newsfeed is pretty
please be
crazy.
quiet so that
Mhm.
we can continue with the debate format candidates.
Okay. All right. Back to our regular scheduling. Mango, did everybody get a chance to answer that last question?
We both did, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll start off with Frank on this next one. And that is, how will you look at setbacks from the Senate or any other position? You have 60 seconds for your response.
So when you think about setbacks, um, you have to think about why they happened in the first place. And as I've been a huge proponent of during my elections, during my department head leadership, everything, I've always been a huge advocate for middle ground. And I think that's what's going to work best when it comes to working with the Senate, working with Judiciary, Department of Justice, Secretary of State, and the State Department, anybody. The middle ground is the way that you get stuff done. And in order to work alongside the Senate, there needs to be a middle ground where we can understand, this has to happen for this reason. But also at the same time, we need to make sure that this is occurring. And obviously there's no perfect example of that right now, but my hope is that we're going to be able to work together as the governor's office, the Senate, the judiciary, the Department of Justice, the Secretary of State and their State Department, everybody, to ensure that the quality of Ridgway's government is stable. And I don't think we've seen that in a very long time. And hopefully we're going to be able to see that very, very soon. I think I'm pretty good. I think you can yield my time and go over to Mango.
Mango, do you have a rebuttal to that?
Hello?
Do you have a rebuttal to Frank's response?
Yeah, I gotta ask. Frank, are you still gonna pursue your
30
duties
seconds.
as senator when I'm elected governor?
Of course. I did not run for the position to drop down from it.
And I just have a question. How many bills have you pushed as a senator? Like yourself?
Currently, I have pushed one bill. How many bills did you propose as a senator? Oh, I'm sorry, you weren't a senator. My bad.
Yeah, you're just greedy, buddy.
Oh
That's all.
yeah.
How many titles have you had? And now you want to run the whole group? Why would we trust someone who just wants greed?
Why would we
10
trust someone
seconds.
with no experience? Answer me that.
Because
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
mean,
fresh
you
face.
have no experience, but you want to lead the government in the highest office. Okay.
And you hold so much power and you have done nothing.
Time has expired. We will continue with the
Done
scheduled
nothing.
format.
All right, Mango, it's your turn to answer. How will you look at setbacks from the Senate or any other position? You have 60 seconds for your response.
Sorry, can you repeat that, sir?
How will you look at setbacks from the Senate or any other position?
Well, my lieutenant governor candidate already has experience serving as the lieutenant governor, and I'll trust him in coordinating with the Senate. We'll analyze what's going on and take action from there, depending on what the setback is. And we're going to view setbacks as learning opportunities and not failures. And then we're going to stay focused on the long-term goals that we have planned for the citizens. I'm going to keep it short and simple with that. I yield.
Frank, do you have a rebuttal?
Sure. So, Mingo,
30
you're talking about trusting your lieutenant governor to run the Senate. Is it not true that everyone in the group, for the most part, I won't say everyone, sorry, a lot of people in the government and in the citizens' views saw the lieutenant governor as unable to lead the Senate the first session that he held. Is that not what happened when he first was lieutenant governor and tried to lead the Senate session? Because I vividly remember that everyone was crashing out because he did not know how to lead the Senate of Ridgway. Because again, he was appointed by Governor Vince Fant as, he wanted
5 seconds.
someone who was weak and easy to manipulate to lead the Senate.
See, he was rusty. And, he fixed up his mistakes. But I just want to say, Frank, you focus on the past, buddy. Like, you're like a crazy ex-girlfriend, bro, bringing up the past. Maybe you should worry about the present a lot more.
The time has expired. We will continue to the scheduled format.
Okay, so we're going to move on to legislative agenda. And the first question we have in this one will be directed to Frank X. Reagan. And that will be, what is your confidence in the competence of your lieutenant governor in running the Senate? You have 60 seconds for your response.
Oh, it's a great question. So BR and I have worked together a long time. I think it's important to come out and say that BR and I did actually run against each other in the sheriff election in the old Ridgeway, which you can kind of see that BR and I, we might have not had the same views about how to lead the sheriff's department, but we came together and we decided to run on the governor and lieutenant ticket so that we can work together to restore stability to Ridgeway. And that's something we both care deeply for. BR has been a senator or on the county board for 4 or 5 terms, and he has done an excellent job in those positions. He's been able to watch the Senate when it was in its prime and kind of take what worked and what didn't work. And he was able to use those ideas and kind of implement them if elected lieutenant governor. And I think that's important to have is a strong legislative branch, one that's led by someone who's experienced in Ridgeway and understands how our processes work. And he's done a damn well good job of doing so. That's all I'm gonna say. So you can move on.
Mango, do you have a rebuttal to that?
Yes, sir. Frank,
30 seconds.
are we gonna get the BR special treatment? That being inactive after 1 month holding office.
Mango, didn't you just say that we shouldn't focus on the past, Mango? That sounds very hypocritical
No,
of
no,
you.
no, no, no. We're
But
gonna get
since
the
you
BR
no,
special treatment.
okay, no, but since you want to do that, BR has been an active member of our community ever since the days that it was created. He's been a part of Ridgeway Senate again 5 terms. That sounds like activity to me. I don't think he would get elected to Senate
10
5
seconds.
times if he was inactive. I think you're trying to pull the past into it when it doesn't relate to it,
5 terms just sounds like holding power. Sounds like
Time's
greed.
expired.
or because you're good at your job.
Sounds like greed.
Okay, so that was the rebuttal. Mango, you will have 60 seconds to respond to the question. Do you need me to repeat that for you?
Yeah, I got Alzheimer's.
So the question was, what is your confidence in the competence of your lieutenant governor in running the Senate?
Oh, I got a lot of confidence in Rick. Well, firstly, to start, he won't be threatening other senators, and he'll maintain open and constant communication with everybody, and he'll focus on how everybody can work together, and he'll find common ground. And you know what? I trust Rick with that. He's always done that, and he can trust people's judgment and ensuring. And I just want to let everybody know, if we can trust the judgment in the Senate, we could trust the community to work together with the Senate. And that's what we need, is the community to work with the Senate, which honestly we haven't seen a lot of in a long, long, long time. And experience means nothing if the person can't treat people fairly. I yield.
Daniel, Frank, do you have a rebuttal to that?
Sure. So
You have 30 seconds.
awesome. So I'm not sure how it went from BR treating people to being unfair with people when BR has been one of the most upstanding members of our community. He served in the Senate again 5 terms, and with that experience, he's been doing that pretty damn well. He's represented people and made sure that he's making legislation that is for the people, not against the people. It's what the people want, and that's all he's been doing with his career. He's given his career to the public, and I think me and BR have
10
done a
seconds.
pretty good idea of what it means to actually serve for the people and not against them. So I'm gonna go ahead and yield the 5 seconds wherever is left.
Okay, moving on to our next question, and that is, what is your main legislative priority? We'll start with Mango on this one, and you will have 60 seconds.
My legislative priority, correct?
Correct.
Well, businesses. Ridgeway businesses have been overlooked for far too long, and we'll work with Department of State to streamline licensing for all businesses. I want to see the food services and security, but anything's welcome. And I want to also introduce government grants to them, whether I have to pay that or we can work something out with the developers. Now, another thing would be the New Faces initiative that I want to push. End the cycle of the same people holding power, like Frank and BR. And no more free ranking friends or hoarding offices. Again, like my opponent. And push for new voices and fresh leadership opportunities. And we need to end this skipping ranks and all that stuff. Like I hate seeing somebody go from officer to chief in like one day. It's brutal. There's a lot of other people that have worked hard for their positions. And then another thing would be an advisory board and judicial committee. I want to create an advisory board for everyday citizens and public servants that will provide insight and feedback on major decisions from the judicial community, including Chief Justice and
10
legal
seconds.
experts. And those people are going to guide our community in the right direction, along with my already 2 other advisory teams that I mentioned earlier.
Time is expired.
Can I
Frank,
can I
you have
rebuttal there?
Yeah, you
Oh
have 30
yes,
seconds.
thank you. So Mango, I just want to ask something, and this doesn't need an answer because the answer is already there. But you're talking about you don't want people being free ranked and ranked because of their friends. Do you not remember your lieutenant governor being the tiebreaker on Vince Fant's nomination for park superintendent, which, let me remind you, that was Vince Fant's friend. By the way, VR and I voted against that nomination. However, your lieutenant governor took it upon himself to let that man run the parks department for a day, by the way. And then as soon as his master, Vince Fant, left the community, Rick Vicario fired that man and nominated the actual candidate that I proposed because that candidate worked up through the ranks like you're talking about. But unfortunately, your lieutenant governor was unable to do that. I don't know, man. That seems pretty hypocritical to me.
Just so you know, Vince Fan doesn't concern me. This is
I
all alleged.
I
This
mentioned
is
your lieutenant
all
governor.
alleged. Well,
I
the
mentioned
thing
your
is, you
lieutenant
brought up
governor.
Vince as well, though. I'm gonna get there, Frank. You know, have some patience, my little buddy.
Yeah.
Rick acted pretty swift when he was lieutenant governor. You know that, right? He tried his hardest, and you need to give credit where due. You know that, right? But you got to also understand he couldn't do a whole lot either.
The time has expired. We will continue with the scheduled programming.
Okay, both candidates have had a chance to answer that question, correct?
No, that was my rebuttal.
That's right. Okay. What is your main legislative priority? You have 60 seconds. Sorry about that.
It's okay. I think it's important to recognize the issues in our community. Kind of like Mango said, there's obviously we need to have our Senate actually using the committees that they have brought back. And when we have nominations that are proposed, whether it be by whatever candidate may win this election, I think the Senate needs to actually interview those candidates and not just blanket past them or table it until they feel like it. I think there needs to be a process that goes on through the Senate to actually talk with these candidates and ensure that they are fit for the position. Obviously, we did not see that with Vince Fant's nomination to the parks superintendent, and that's unfortunately how Rick Vicario broke the tiebreaker on it. And he was put into power and then fired a day later. I think with with the correct oversight and committees, we can do anything that we need to do to better the community. I think a priority again is I agree with Mango. I think businesses need to be helped out by the legislature, the executive branch, everybody they can, because that's what's going to help boost the game morale and activity in general. And I just believe that we need to keep protecting our citizens' rights. And I think
5
we need to
seconds.
make sure that our legislature focuses on that, plain and simple.
Mango, do you have a rebuttal to that?
What was the previous question?
He was asked what is his main legislative priority.
I heard businesses. Smart idea. I see you're not pushing your anti-corruption campaign, considering you are the forefront of any corruption scandal at the moment. I yield.
Okay, moving on to the next question. And the last question before we get into the free-for-all. I will take a pause here real quick just to bring everybody's attention to what I'm streaming in the stage. I have a Slido set up right now, and I've also linked it in event updates. During this last question and during the free-for-all, if all of our viewers can take a second to click that link or scan the QR code and participate and just let us know who is winning this debate so far. Following the debate, we will also have an Alder group poll that's posted in event updates as well. So for our last question before we get into the free-for-all, we will be touching on another piece of a legislative agenda, and that is how will you make sure your constituents are being heard? We'll start with Frank for this one. Frank, you have 60 seconds.
Sure. Honestly, I feel like we're beating a dead horse here. I think we've made sure, and me and Mango have both talked about it. We want to be transparent with the public. We want to, at least I want to, host town halls with my lieutenant governor side by side, where we can work together and figure out what exactly the citizens need and want from our community and our legislature and executive branch. The same works with our president pro tempore and our senators, whoever they may be. I think everyone needs to work on a middle ground and truly recognize the issues of our community. And the only way we're going to be able to recognize those issues are by being active in the community. And then, secondly, being active with the community. We need to make sure that we're stepping out of our comfort zone and we're able to talk to people and understand their issues and concerns and able to use that to create legislature or create executive orders and whatnot that can benefit our true community, which is the citizens. We cannot keep benefiting ourselves, which is what we've seen in government time and time again. And we need to stray away from that and make Ridgeway a place where everyone can get involved and where everyone is protected and not abused against. And that's what my campaign is all about. We're against all of that corruption.
Mango, do you have a rebuttal to that?
Yeah, I do. You just
30
abused this
seconds.
Saturday, dude. Can I post a screenshot in general, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Guys, I want you to take a look at this screenshot. This is pretty recent, and this is actually a screenshot about Mr. Frank Reagan. So take a look at that. This is the guy pushing no corruption. Meanwhile, the only corruption scandal Ridgemaid has seen involves Frank Reagan. Is that really the guy you want running this community? I know it's not the guy I want running this community. He's gonna put it into the ground. And then hold on,
Okay,
I got another screenshot. Just sorry, I'm gonna post it.
I mean, we could start the free for
Here's
all,
another one.
and then you can post a bunch.
We do have to give Mango a chance to respond to the question, and then Frank a chance to rebuttal if he'd like. Mango, so I'm going to ask you the same question to wrap up our questions, and that will be, how will you make sure your constituents are being heard? You have 60 seconds for a response.
Well, by ensuring things are being worked up the chain of command, that's where we got to start. Like, people's voices need to be going through the chain of command, and that's where my advisory board is going to come in handy. All right. And like I mentioned early on, I'm going to have an advisory board, and I'm going to push that. I'm going to make it known so people can see that and respond to it, whether it's in their DMs or forms. Like, I know people say, oh, go through a form. But no, you could just DM them. Like, I want people to be approachable. Like, I can't always respond to everybody's DM, but if I have like 5 or 6 people that can answer DMs and bring me ideas that are heard 50 times, that'll help me react to those ideas. And I want to make sure my cabinet also briefs me on all the needs. And I just want to reiterate, like I said at the start, boots on the ground. We're going to be there for the community. I
Are you
yield.
through with your response? Okay. Daniel, would you like to, Frank, would you like to make a rebuttal to that?
Sure.
You
So
have 30 seconds.
as to the image, obviously, it seems that the person who is sending these screenshots, who I thought Mango was very against, releasing his identity, but whatever. That person came to me 2 nights ago, speaking out against the corruption that he's seen in the National Guard as well as inside of their campaign. He came to me saying that he was only elected so that he can benefit their agenda. And I think that's very impactful. I think once that happened and he
10
came to
seconds.
me, he found out that they have a deep state and wanted to go back to it because that's where he felt the most secure. And that's what we need to get away from in this community.
Okay, folks. So quick note here, real quick. That was the last of our official questions. Here in just a minute, we'll start with the free-for-all. Well, candidates will be given a 1-minute period to speak over each other. And breaking most of the debate rules, I would just like to remind both candidates that Discord and Ridgeway TOS must still be followed. So just make sure that it's still respectful discourse. But you'll have a minute for both of you guys to scream over each other. Following that, we will wrap up with closing statements where each candidate will have 45 seconds to deliver their closing remarks. And then following that, I believe we have some stuff prepared for our 30, I think it's like 30 minutes intermission. So we will see what we have going on then. But we'll have a 30-minute intermission. And then after that, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be having a Senate debate. All right, so kicking off our free-for-all, Robin, if you'll go ahead and start the clock. Both candidates have a 1-minute period to speak over each other. You can begin.
Begin.
I don't know. I mean,
Oh, Frank, I love how you claim to
wait,
just
actually,
be a
oh,
victim
never
of
mind. Go ahead.
everything, like
Yeah.
it's kind of obvious. Like, I'm not gonna lie, and I shouldn't be saying this, but you nearly brought this guy to tears. You know that, right? Because of your selfishness. You know
Yeah,
that, right?
so it's funny because that's quite the
No,
opposite that
it's
was
not
in
funny,
the.
Frank. It
It was
really
it, it was
isn't.
the
Like,
opposite of
it's
what
not
he was
funny.
telling
Why do you
me.
think it's funny
It
to
was the
laugh at
opposite of
somebody
what he was telling me.
after you use them?
Again,
Why do you
I'm not
think that's
gonna
funny,
engage.
Frank?
I'm not
I
gonna
don't think that's
engage in
funny at all,
abusing
Frank.
community members. I'm not gonna
Why are you
engage in that.
laughing at a guy who you used
No,
and upset?
I'm not gonna
No.
engage
You
in you
used
trying
and
to
upset him.
rage.
Why did you
This is
do
just
that?
like
Like, tell
horrible.
me, why won't you admit it? Tell everybody the truth. You are lying through your teeth right now.
Okay, can I
Yeah,
speak
that's
now
what I
without you
thought.
trying to interrupt me? No, okay, yeah,
No. You could
yeah.
try and speak
So
over me, but you're not, because you're a liar.
yeah, because all you do is sit around with your
No. It's
like
because you're
friendly
a
Time
hat.
has
liar.
expired. Time has
Yeah, dude, like
expired.
that was useless.
That was useless because you didn't try. Who wants
Because why would
somebody
I
elected
engage?
that
Why would
doesn't
I
try?
engage in your rage bait?
But you don't try.
This
But
shit isn't true.
you
It's been
did
proved.
engage in it.
It's been
You did
proven that it
engage in
wasn't
it.
real. But
Hey,
unfortunately, you're too dumb to see
Frank, take
that.
a
And
look at my
once you get
webcam.
there, I hope for God's sake that
Frank,
one day
take a
you
look
do
at
get
my
an
webcam.
education. When you get an
Frank, take a look at
education,
my webcam.
when you get an
You might
education,
like
I
it.
hope that it matters one day.
Frank, take a look. Well, wait a minute. You claim to study ethics, right? I remember I asked you about that. You said you studied ethics. Can you confirm?
Yeah, I did study ethics in high school and throughout college.
Oh my, this guy's an ethical guy. I call bullshit on that one. Excuse my French, guys. But you're state board of elections, correct? Do you know the first thing about ethics? Because I know like textbook ethics.
Okay, could you read me like some ethics that you know of?
Yeah. So do you know what a conflict of interest
The
is, Mr.
candidates
Because it,
Frank?
free for all has been extended to
You
4
know,
minutes.
how
So you
you
got another 2
responded
minutes
to
to yell.
my SBE ticket, and you responded to it about the governor election. Why were you doing that? You claim to be an ethical guy. That was pretty unethical of you. Like, again, like, that's just another lie. You claim to be ethical. You're not.
so actually, if you were any bit intelligent, you would recognize that I went to my superiors in the state
No,
boards of
you didn't.
election, and
You
yes, I did. Yes, I
completely
did.
ignored that, and you
Yes,
just
I
went
did.
and responded to my
And
ticket
so
because you know
how can
nothing
you
about
verify that? How
ethics.
can you verify that without making baseless accusations?
You
Anything?
know
No,
nothing
you
about
can't.
ethics, buddy.
Yeah, you can't. You can't because there's no proof behind anything you're
But the
saying.
thing is, Frank, there's proof about everything you've done, and you just don't want to admit it. You're a
Okay,
D1 liar.
and when you provide the
Like, you
proof,
lie through your
then
teeth.
yeah,
Like, I couldn't imagine sitting in the same room as a liar, but here I am. My
yeah.
oh
I
my.
mean, your ethics are pretty good because you go against people
Yeah,
and
they are.
fake evidence. You go against people,
Yeah.
fake evidence, take
Mm-hmm.
out vendettas, all that stuff. Pretty interesting.
Yeah. And you hire those same people, buddy. So
Yeah,
think about
yeah,
that. Why
yeah.
should anybody trust your judgment? Nobody should trust your judgment.
I mean, compared to my 4 years, 5 years of experience in Ridgeway,
Oh
compared to
my.
you're in Ridgeway probably as long as me, right? I would say so.
Probably a little. Maybe.
Maybe a
I'm
little
not
bit,
too
maybe a
sure.
little bit
I'll have to
longer,
take a look.
maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit shorter. Either way,
Yeah.
we both had the same opportunities to get positions and to work our asses off and provide for the.
Mm.
Unfortunately, you didn't do that. I provided. I started the Milton City
What did
Police
you
Department.
provide? Lies? I know
Oh,
you
I
provided
provided.
lies. Like,
30
I just looked at a
seconds.
few lies just now. Because that's all you do is lie, Frank. Like, why do you lie?
And I
Like,
mean,
I rage
yeah,
baited you about 30 seconds ago, and you said you're not going to rage bait me. Seconds later, I rage baited you.
you're
And
right.
you don't want to admit that.
I said I wasn't gonna
You
rage
don't
bait
want to
you.
admit anything, Frank. You don't want to admit anything.
Hey Mingo, I think you should check Ridgeway general chat. He said Deputy Nix just said that he did speak to me, and yes, he gave me
I
details.
see.
Whenever someone comes to me with that stuff, I try to take it
Wait until
seriously.
those DMs go to moderation, dude. That's where they are right now.
Oh,
Free
are
for
they?
all
Yeah,
ended.
that's cool.
Oh, they are, dude. You screwed
All
up,
right, folks,
man.
the free for all is up, so we will be moving on to closing statements. Just a reminder, each candidate will have 45 seconds to deliver their closing statement. We might extend that to 60 seconds, depending on how the
I'm
flow
gonna
is.
clock for 60.
Okay. So we'll start with closing remarks from Frank. You have 60 seconds.
Can you go to Mango first? I need to take a
Sure.
second.
Mango, are you prepared for closing remarks?
Nah, man, I gotta prep. Give me like, I don't know, 30 seconds, maybe 40.
First, if you want to wait.
So how's your day going, moderator Shadow Culture?
I'm doing good, man. I'm looking forward to this election. I think
I'm just
these are
gonna
two
extend
great
this.
candidates.
Can I extend that to a
and
minute real quick? Because I'm gonna go grab a water, okay?
That's fine. These are two good candidates. This is a pivotal time in our state's history. We're coming back as a remade, and it's given a lot of people an opportunity to start fresh. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the results turn out for this. The Slido poll that we had pulled up earlier, right now we're looking at, what is this, 111 votes right now. They're still filing in. And Frank and Mango are literally neck and neck. I think it's like equal votes each. So if that's any gauge of how we're looking, it's going to be an incredibly tight race. So
It's gonna be neck and neck for sure.
yeah, I'll be excited to see how this turns out tomorrow. And this was a good debate. I've seen a lot of debates.
I'm ready to go if we're good now.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go ahead and cut over. So,
yeah.
Frank, you have 60 seconds for your closing remarks.
Sure. So, I just want to start by saying I appreciate Mango coming up here and talking to me. Obviously, the free for all is a free for all on like Discord and Roblox. Like you're gonna see people get heated and stuff. I appreciate Mango. Mango, although we have our differences on Roblox, Mango has been a pretty good person. He's come to me and wished me well when my grandpa was in the hospital, which he still is. So I appreciate Mango in that regard. Mango is a caring guy. And although Ridgeway politics and Roblox politics, make things seem one way, I really do appreciate his kind words and his entire campaign's kind words. I think everyone who's going out to vote tonight, who hasn't already, I think you've gotten a little glimpse of what each campaign is about. I hope you use that information and actually you don't vote in a way that because you know the person you're voting for them, you're taking what they're actually doing and saying and you're voting with trust in that person, not because they're a friend or they promised you a position or whatnot. I think it's very important to pay
10
attention to the
seconds.
facts and make the right decision. Thanks for showing up.
Mango, it is your turn for closing remarks. You'll have 60 seconds.
Hello. I'm here to serve the people, and you guys should know that. Like I care for each and every single one of you guys. Like I wouldn't have came back if I didn't give a crap. All right. I had no reasons to come back essentially, but I found a reason, and it's because I actually care about this community, and I care about it a great deal, and that's why I came back, even after what happened. And I'm confident that I'll win and faithfully execute my duties. My campaign server has all the details you guys might want, and me and my staff, we're all determined. Like we are going to win. Promises made and promises kept. That's what I will ensure happens. I just want to thank all of you again for all your support. God bless everybody. Glad to be here. And thank you again, Frank, for this debate. And thanks for the State Board of Elections. Big man Shadow putting it on. And, Robin and Timbo, you guys did a wonderful job. Keep doing good things. And I hope to see you guys all, at the polls. And I hope to see you guys in Ridgeway having fun. All right. If you guys have questions or anything, feel free to DM me. I'll happily answer them. All right. Thank you again. Yield.
All right, folks. So that concludes the gubernatorial debate for tonight. I will remind everybody that here in less than 30 minutes at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hold up, we have some closing remarks from War Hero of the State, Seif Maker. Briefly.
Seif, you have 60 seconds.
All right. Well, everyone should know whoever wins, and I want whoever wins, me, Frank, Mango, but I hope whoever wins just don't please do the policies of former Governor Matrix. We should to build our country again from after the invasions of the Firestonians an invasion of the Nusians in our holy lands. We should to protect the land, build it with a good stone, not in evil stone. For
Fuck
sake of
yes.
Jesus Christ,
Hey,
guys,
fucking
please.
man.
Don't let go. So
Thank you, Safe Baker.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
it's okay.
thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much,
That brought a tear
Mr.
to my
Robin,
eye.
Thank you, Steve. All right. Okay, folks, I appreciate it. That concludes our gubernatorial debate. As I said, here in less than 30 minutes, we will start off with our Senate debate. Joseph, I think we might have some intermission activities. Is that right? Regardless, we'll see you guys in 30 minutes. You can feel
25
free to hang
now.
out. 25
Shadow, are
minutes.
you gonna be throwing it back?
I will not be throwing it back.
That's crazy.
Mango, I
Aw,
do want to
man.
ask you, how do I do the virtual camera like you do? Is it
OBS.
OBS?
It's
OBS,
OBS
yeah.
virtual cam.
I'm trying to use it, but it's not.
Okay, you
not
go into
registering
You gotta
OBS.
restart Discord.
You go into
Oh my
OBS,
God,
and
hold
then
on.
it's in some fucking where even is the context menu for it? I fucking forgot now. Oh no, they added it. It's just a button. Start virtual camera.
Frank, what do you think about my screenshot being displayed right now?
Okay, there we go.
Am I supposed to be looking at your stream, or is there like a screenshot in general?
My
chat?
webcam.
Who is the
How do
bacon
I-
hair who has building tools?
I
Is
can't even
is
see it.
How do I
Is
swap
that
it?
an official person?
Yeah,
or is
I
there a
only
I can
only
read it
see-
out for you.
I only see Joseph's right now.
From Deputy Nix at 5:25 p.m.
How do I?
Thanks to
swap
Frank, I
that?
want to leave Ridgeway because I don't feel safe in this community.
No, because he said the same thing about you guys like 2 nights ago. So.
It's funny because our DMs have nothing coercing him. I have no DMs with him other than RNG stuff, which is like, I don't even know, start of the game, I guess. And Rick showed me all of his DMs, and I can attest that there is nothing.
Yeah,
of
because
any
he
pushing
reached
or
he reached
coercion
out
there.
he reached out to me for help against you guys. But again, I'm not
I
gonna
see.
keep beating a dead horse. You know, you're gonna believe what you want to believe, but the truth is there.
I believe you're a fraud. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm sure many other people do as well.
Yeah, well, I let people have their own beliefs, so you can keep doing what you
Good,
want to do,
good,
man.
good. I will.
Does anybody know how
You
to
can join me if
reverse
you want.
my feed? For whatever reason, it's.
How do you what? Reverse what?
Look how my camera is like backwards.
I think you have to do it through OBS. I just don't remember how to like do
This
it to the whole scene.
sucks.
Oh no! It displays correctly.
Oh
it
wait,
does
yeah,
that.
yeah, it does. It just shows like on
You're
your
fine.
locally.
It's
It just
it's
shows
displayed
locally stuff.
correctly.
It's really
Correct
stupid.
for y'all?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks fine for us.
Who came up with this?
I have no idea.
Okay, well I've got the Slido poll if anybody wants to vote in there, and then I think Alder is gonna post a poll in newsfeed as well. I do want to say thank you to a few people. I posted it in our event update, but you know this wasn't my event. I did coordinate it from the State Board of Elections perspective, but I can't really take credit for anything. You know, Timbo is the commissioner or the chair for the debate commission. So he was kind of pulling the strings, and then Kisa brought on Joseph Reinhardt from Alder Group, and Joseph is the one that built this. He's the one that's running the stream, the stage, and then you know Robin, who helped me moderate this as well, doing the decorum and timekeeping. So there are a lot of hands that went into this. It wasn't just me, and in fact, the role that I played was very small. It was
They
just
hired me
coordination.
10 minutes before this debate. They were going in the homeless shelters trying to find moderators.
Just a word of advice,
It's
Shadow.
interesting.
You should use a different polling service that doesn't let you submit multiple responses.
Oh, does it? I can probably change that.
You should just
I would
do a
just use
Discord
Google
poll.
Forms.
How did you
do a
find?
Discord
Discord
Hold
poll.
up, hold up.
Yeah,
How did
that's
you
smart.
find the
I
most
like
random
Biggest-
software?
Biggest
for
idea I've
polls?
heard all
I've never
night.
heard of
Had to be
Slido.
Frank.
What
We
was
use
that?
it at work.
Oh my god! Just put a Discord poll and event updates.
Yeah, I think a Discord poll is
and
way
then you
better.
can
Fun,
then,
dude, 'cause-
well, you can tell if 16 tourist alts vote on it that way.
Yeah, I mean, you
You
can
can't
tell
really
who's
tell
voting.
if the Slido has been tampered with, and
Yeah.
you can't see the total votes.
I agree with that.
I can see the total votes.
Okay, well, no one else can. Not on
But
the
it's not about the
Slido.
total votes. Like, do
It's
they
at the
do
top
they have
right, is it
Oh.
not?
do they have
Okay.
to log in or anything to vote on
Okay,
that
well, you
poll?
can't see the votes for each
No.
of the options.
No,
Like
but
it's actively being spammed.
I mean that's fine. The Alder group is gonna they're posting an official poll. This is just one that you can see update on the screen.
I don't. There's no way 170 people voted on that poll.
Yeah, that's actually absurd. Like if
So-
we're hitting those
Yeah,
numbers, good
I
for
really-
us.
really,
man.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that
pat
seems
on the
slightly
back.
fraudulent. That seems slightly fraudulent considering there's only 70 people in the VC, so I'm not sure where the extra 100 came from.
I'm fairly certain that it restricts it based off of your IP.
Oh, so you got my IP.
Oh,
No.
nice one, buddy. Oh, that's it, Shadow. I'm reporting you to the feds. It's over.
Yeah, see, I can't do it again. So, well, no, I can't. I can edit response.
You should
but
just do a Discord poll.
I
that's
agree.
not as fun. That's
You
not
should
as
do
fun.
it. Just do a Discord poll at the end
Wait,
of the
what
night.
happened?
Wah,
then.
wah,
Wait,
wah,
what
wah,
happened? The
wah,
poll
wah.
was 50. The poll was 50-50. What happened? Now it's a landslide. What the fuck happened?
Because
There's scripts and
it's just
bots that
obvious.
can spam it, and you can just refresh it and go again.
Foreign interference once again.
Well, this is not an official poll. If you want to vote officially, I think Alder Group, have they posted it yet or no?